A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development that could reshape the geopolitical landscape of South Asia, U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Saturday that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire, following intense discussions mediated by the United States. This announcement comes after a series of military strikes and counterstrikes that have escalated tensions between the two nuclear-armed nations, marking the most severe conflict since 1999. The ceasefire agreement was confirmed by both countries, with Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar stating, "Pakistan and India have agreed to a ceasefire with immediate effect." Pakistan has always strived for peace and security in the region without compromising on its sovereignty and territorial integrity. India echoed this sentiment, signaling a willingness to de-escalate the situation that has claimed the lives of at least 66 civilians on both sides. President Trump took to social media platform Truth Social to share the news, stating, "After a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence." This statement reflects a rare moment of optimism in a region plagued by decades of conflict and distrust. The talks involved high-level officials from both nations, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, as well as their respective foreign ministers and military chiefs. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio played a pivotal role in facilitating these discussions, emphasizing the need for dialogue to prevent further escalation. Tensions had surged recently as both countries launched strikes against each other's military installations, raising fears of a broader conflict that could potentially involve their nuclear arsenals. The situation became increasingly precarious when reports indicated that a key military body in Pakistan overseeing nuclear weapons was convening, although the Pakistani defense minister later clarified that no such meeting was scheduled. Despite the recent violence, the willingness of both nations to engage in dialogue and agree to a ceasefire is a positive step towards stability in the region. Observers note that the U.S. involvement in mediating the talks underscores the importance of international diplomacy in resolving conflicts that have deep historical roots. As the ceasefire takes effect, the focus will now shift to the potential for future negotiations aimed at addressing the underlying issues that have fueled the conflict between India and Pakistan for decades. Both countries have a long history of territorial disputes, particularly over the Kashmir region, which has been a flashpoint for violence and military confrontations. In the wake of the ceasefire announcement, analysts are cautiously optimistic about the prospects for peace. However, they also warn that the road ahead will be challenging, as both governments will need to navigate domestic pressures and nationalist sentiments that can complicate efforts for reconciliation. The international community will be closely watching the developments in South Asia, as the outcome of this ceasefire could have far-reaching implications not only for India and Pakistan, but also for regional stability in a world already fraught with geopolitical tensions. The hope is that this moment of diplomacy can pave the way for a more lasting peace, allowing both nations to focus on economic development and the well-being of their citizens rather than military confrontation. In conclusion, the announcement of a ceasefire between India and Pakistan is a pivotal moment that highlights the power of diplomacy in resolving conflicts. As both nations take a step back from the brink, the world watches with bated breath, hoping that this ceasefire can lead to a more peaceful and prosperous future for all involved. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.